kicking it early in the morning here. Good morning, Pat Hacker. Good morning, Steve Z. Good morning, Vinny DiMartini in the house. Got the wrenches in the house. Got my turban, breaking out the turban. Breaking out the turban. Remember when Trump said this?
And as we begin the new year, our economy is booming, wages are soaring, workers are thriving, and America's future has never, ever looked brighter.
Did you hear him say it? Let's hear it again.
This year, our economy is booming, wages are soaring, workers are thriving, and America's future has never, ever looked brighter. Ever. The envy of every country in the world, we've created 7 million brand new jobs since our election. And we will soon be replacing the disaster known as NAFTA with the incredible brand new U. In the new year, our economy is booming, wages are soaring, workers are thriving, and America's future has never, ever looked brighter. In the new year, our economy is booming, wages are soaring, workers are thriving, and America's future has never, ever looked brighter. New year, our economy is booming, wages are soaring, workers are thriving, and America's future has never, ever looked brighter. The envy of every country in the world, we've created 7 million brand new
Remember when he said it?
jobs since our election.
Remember when he said it?
And we will soon be replacing the disaster known as NAFTA with the incredible brand
That
new
wasn't even 2 months ago.
USMCA, the historic victory for Ohio.
Not even 2 months ago.
Workers and manufacturers, but really a great victory for the United States.
It's never been so good. What happened then?
You remember
This was prior to Corona, right? Because coronavirus is the cause of everything, right? Is that what we're led to believe? Coronavirus, blame somebody. You got to blame somebody, right? You can't blame the facts that it's an inflated bubble. All right, so the powerful mystical psychic had called this. I'm gonna. Hey, listen, if nobody's gonna tout you, you got to tout yourself, right? So here I am, man. I am the psychic investor, right? I've been undercover this whole time, right? But the psychic investor, there it is, using your intuition plus investment fundamentals to profit in the stock market. Back when I was Marcus Goodwin, because I thought if I was good, I would win. So I flipped my name to Goodwin, and look how handsome he is, man. Look at this handsome dude, man. Handsome Wall Street guy, fucking Series 7 of 63, years of experience. He's got all the big names calling, signing on to his stuff. I am no financial expert. Uri Geller, the great paranormalist, John Foz, author of Cigarette Confidential. All right. So this guy is amazing, man. I love this guy. I don't remember who he is, but damn, this fucking guy was so accurate way back in the time. And I made a lot of predictions. I made, you could buy the book. I'll show you where. Let's take a tour, right? This is the Marcus Conte victory tour right here. And I'm going to tell you right now, the stock market is continuing to decline. Not even open 11 minutes, and we're already down 500 points. But look at that chart. Look at that chart. That's the subject of our analysis today. The subject of our analysis is coronavirus causing this. Is this the cause? Did the stock market catch the flu and everything went plunging downward? Or is it something more? Is it something greater? Did the magical, mystical, powerful psychic known as Donald Trump have it all wrong? Does every economist on Wall Street and every financial technician have it wrong on Wall Street? Do all of the 6 major banks, including Goldman Sachs, and all of their analysis, floors and floors of technical analysts, do they all have it wrong? But why can the lonely psychic sitting in his mother's basement figure it out with remarkable accuracy? Why? Because I don't have a money interest in it, and the facts are obvious. But look at this chart. So a long time ago. So that's what Trump said recently. And is the market now what? What does he do for an encore after you say that, right? So back in I got to tout myself. So here's the chart. This is my prediction. Dow 18,847. Right. Currently we're at. I'm gonna put Trump over here. Put Trump down there, and we're currently at 19,187. Right, down from 30,000. Down from 30,000. We're now at. It's plunging right now. The market is absolutely plunging. 711 points down in the first 13 minutes. And this is ongoing. This has been going on every single day if you haven't been paying attention. What's up, everybody in the chat? Good morning. It's always good to see Pat Hacker. And hey, Mr. Nobody, what's up, Barry Atkins? Mr. Nobody, what have you done to yourself? Karen R., what's up? How many people we got, man? Before I start talking about the main subject. The entree. Nobody wants to come in. Nobody wants to come in and hear about the stock market getting crushed. But I just wanted to put on the record that back in January last year, January 2nd, almost 1 year, well, a little over 1 year, but that's about the time the market started to rock a little bit. Actually, it started in February 2nd. So we're about 6 weeks into this incredible crash. But I did call it, right? Back here, let's just listen. I'll shut up. I'll shut up and let my past self tell the story. Right.
Marcus Conte reporting with his magical stock prediction. You're gonna love this shit.
So there's the chart. There's unequivocally the chart, right? Now, I was a little ahead of it. I was a little ahead of the crash because that chart doesn't include this big rise right here. It doesn't include this big run up. So I was a little off about a year ago. But ultimately, if you see the line that I'm pointing at, I'm pointing that it goes down. The price target is 18,847. Right? And why is that? Why is it that line, as I've said many times if you've been watching, I'm going to keep saying it. That is the height of Obama. That is the highest it ever was with Obama. And then you look right over here, that's when Trump came in and you saw liftoff. Because he's going to give tax breaks to everybody, the corporations. Everybody's going to get a free ride. He's going to open up he's going to double the debt. He's going to give trillions of dollars away to the corporations, and he's going to make all of the loopholes that the billionaires get away with permanent. All right, fuck unemployment. Fuck the regular people. Entitlement programs. He's going to cut Medicaid, Medicare, veterans benefits, whatever. Right, that's what Republicans do. And he promised all that, and the market went up, and then it got volatile, and he's working with this Fed chair guy to drop the interest rates for banks to zero. They lend it to you for 35%, but the banks pay zero and never pay it back at all. So you've got this massive break in the market right now. We're at 19,196. I'm going to almost start to re-hedge my bet because it is going to break the trend line. And I have a feeling it's going to just keep on going. We're going to see. We haven't seen a bounce. This is an unprecedented. That line right there is just unbelievable. Look at that fall. This is from 2017 all the way to now. Everything collapsed in 6 weeks. I've never seen anything like it. There is nothing like it. You were down almost close to now 30, 33, maybe 35% right now. The crash with Obama was only about 40%. So we're almost at the same place, pre-recession leading to possible depression. If Trump bails them out again, if Trump opens up it's the same scenario, because with Obama you had Eric Geithner from Goldman Sachs, the Treasury Secretary, sitting right next to Obama, saying we got a big problem. The same thing with Bush. The Goldman Sachs guy was Henry Paulson, Secretary of the Treasury, sitting next to Bush saying we got a big problem. Right? It's always Goldman Sachs fucking over everybody. And now you have the same situation. You've got Steve Mnuchin, right? That Trump was going to drain the swamp, but no. What did he do? He switched out the swamp. So this is reality right here. This is a powerful reality. And at the time, I made the call.
This is the whole thing. I'm going to risk it all, man. I'm going to totally risk it all. How many people do you know will go on record and make a video of a stock market prediction?
This guy's crazy.
So, stock market, right? Seeing a bit of a bubble.
All right, so that was you can watch the video if you want. I don't want to play this shit. But you could see that my prediction was spot on. There's the chart. Let's just go.
Magical
freeze it on
stock prediction. You're gonna love this shit.
Bang, right there. So there is my chart. And what does it all mean? I know it's just numbers, right? It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean shit, right? So I just want to tout myself for a second. I've been doing this a long time, right? Again, I wrote this book, right? Psychic Investor. I used to be on TV in the late 90s. I think this is about 2000 or so. Check this shit.
Are you looking to hit it big in the stock market? Imagine if you had psychic powers that could help you pick the real money makers. That's what one man is claiming that he can do. But I-Team investigator Matthew Schwartz has been checking out his claims. He joins us tonight with the story. Matthew?
Well, Brenda, some stock analysts might say he doesn't know Wall Street and that he's off the wall. But he says he's on the money, and he calls himself the psychic investor. It is an unusual mix, the psychic and the stock market.
I am the author of this here book, The Psychic Investor.
Marcus Goodwin is selling his book and his unorthodox stock-picking techniques to members of the New York Society of Security Analysts. His audience is somewhat sleepy and skeptical.
And when did you wake up one morning and decide you were psychic?
Goodwin says it came to him as a young boy when he saw visions of events before they happened. He became a stockbroker and now uses his powers to make money in the market.
What I've come up with is the intuitive part of it.
Goodwin uses mostly tarot cards and a pendulum to pick stocks.
Get the point?
This way means up. This way means down. This way means don't know.
But Goodwin emphasizes that he does thorough research first.
Look at that crowd. You see that crowd, man? Look at that crowd. Look at all those suits and ties in the audience. Look at those guys.
Thorough research.
Look at those guys. Look at them. Oh, man. They all came to see the psychic, man. I remember that shit.
First.
I look at charts. I look at fundamentals. And then what I do is I begin to run a stock through the psychic. While I'm reading.
It's a shame that this is the only copy of this thing I have. This is my grandmother. My grandmother recorded this on our VCR. Imagine that shit. She was watching it one night. I didn't record it. I wasn't even home when it aired, and she recorded it, and it was on a VCR, and she gave it to me. She gave me this clip, man. It's the only clip that I have ever seen of it. It's on TV. Good luck trying to get it from Channel 9.
Information, I'll pull out 15 cards, and it triggers the subconscious, and then the process begins. And perhaps the power greater in ourselves steps in.
Goodwin claims he's been accurate with 80% of his picks and says this to cynics.
Hey, Wall Street throws darts at the Wall Street Journal. I mean, they publish those picks. And why do sometimes dart swingers beat out the top analysts on Wall Street?
While Goodwin may be psychic, he also seems absent-minded.
There they go. They're hiding on you. I have lost my slide. I'm looking blindly. Focus. Okay.
Goodwin speaks for an hour and sells a few books as part of his promotional tour.
What do you say to critics who tell you, hey, Marcus, you just wrote this book, you gave it the sexy title, Psychic Investor, but it's really not that psychic, it's more based on logic and research?
For those who believe, there's no explanation necessary. For those who don't believe, there is an explanation enough.
This audience of mostly conservative market analysts is surprisingly open to Goodwin's methods.
I'm a little doubtful, I must admit. Maybe a lot doubtful about it.
You're not going to try any of his methods before you buy your next stock?
Am I going to? No, I'm not going to try any of his methods.
I think the principle's in the right place. I don't know about the techniques, but if it works for him, so be it. If that's what he's looking to trade with, and if he's having success with it, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Goodwin also has a website, marcusgoodwin.com, in which he picks his hot stocks. And he does private consultations for $85 an hour.
My mission is to say, hey, psychic phenomena has been around for centuries. It's been applied in witchcraft shops and in the back parlors and, with wizard heads and various approaches. And here's something that can literally be used for the common investor.
Now, the Psychic Investor recommended 14 stocks in the first quarter, that's January through March. If you had bought one share of each company's stock on April 1st, you'd have paid $654.32, not counting broker's commissions. If you sold those shares right now, you'd get $523.38, minus commissions, of course.
Try to paint me as a loser.
That's a net loss of $130.94, or just over 20%. The Psychic Investor's big winner was Dell Computer, up over 30%. His big loser, Cisco Systems, down a whopping 64%. But to be perfectly fair about this, the stock markets have been in a nosedive in recent weeks, and nobody really has been cashing in.
That's right, Matt Schwartz. I wonder what happened to that guy. So, hey, listen, man, we're just sitting here playing some clips, right? Like, what do I know, right? So you can buy that book if you want. It's still available. I don't make a dime on it. Here's Amazon, right? Psychic Investor, use your intuition. I mean, there's still copies left. Right? For how much? Again, I don't get any money from this. This is from, I don't know who the hell sells it, but nonetheless. But here's the one that I do get money from. This is, if you buy this book for $1 at Amazon, it's actually free. If you click in the, I made the PDF of Wake Yourself Up free down below. Listen, man, this is shameless self-promotion today, right? As the markets crash, because I am right again. And we'll keep watching this market crash down 450, continuing to go down, right? Target of as I said. So you could go on Amazon, buy the Psychic Investor. You could put in Wake Yourself Up, Spiritual Enlightenment right here, right now. I wrote this in 2012 as a, I don't know, just it was a good, I had taken a hit in 2008. I had been trading in and out, and the 2008 market, the volatility, no one could have called that bottom. And I got crushed there, complete honest. I'm certainly not 100%. But in this case right here, I was absolutely right. And you didn't have to be, the point is, you don't have to be a psychic to figure it out. It's obvious. All the best of the best on Wall Street can't get this shit right because they're lying to you. It has nothing to do with Corona. It's a debt bubble. This shit has been brewing for years. You got a president on TV wiggling his fingers saying the economy has never been so good. It's a bubble.
In the new year, our economy is booming, wages are soaring, workers are thriving, and America's future has never, ever looked brighter.
It's just such a fucking lie. It's just such a bold-faced lie. When it's not, it's obviously not true. Also, you could buy some stickers. I got my stickers available on eBay. You could become a Patreon of this channel as well. You can buy the classic stickers. These are my. I still have a lot left. So let's talk about it. Let's talk a little bit about Corona, and then we'll see. Is it coronavirus causing it? Everybody wants to believe that. Someone's saying, "What happened to Bernie? What happened to Bernie? Where's Bernie?" What happened to Bernie? Bernie is look. There's two ways. There's two ways you can make change in this life, right? One is by being nice and playing patty cake with your adversary, or you can set them on fire. So it seems that the establishment has elected to be set on fire rather than play nice. So Bernie was the Bernie Sanders movement was nice. Let's point out the flaws in the system and let's hope that they all change and they all come around to universal pay, single payer health care and getting money out of politics and taxing the corporations at their fair share and cutting the loopholes. And bringing our jobs back because they've all been extorted out, abroad, in China and such. That's one way of doing it. And you can rally the young people, and you can pretend that there's a real election going on, and everybody can show up and push the button for Bernie, and then get fucked in the end, right? Fucked. You could go about it that way, and then sit around and pout and hope that in 4 more years we'll have another shot at it. That's one way of going, right? But it didn't go that way. Instead, what we have is money on fire. The system was inevitably going to explode because of the things that we're talking about. Lack of health care, people living paycheck to paycheck, 80% of the country living paycheck to paycheck. More than half the country doesn't have $400 for an emergency. And now we have an emergency, a pseudo-emergency. What are we going to do? What are those people going to do? Why? What we didn't fix the problem. We never addressed the problem. If we would have addressed the problem and gotten all the money out of the patched a hole at the top where all the money was bleeding out to the corporations, to trillions of dollars in offshore accounts, tax havens. If you don't close it, then this is what happens. Wall Street's going to get bailed out. They're going to give them $1 trillion to bail them out. They'll give another $1 trillion to the regular people, and that'll get us out of the way. It's an economic reset for the greedy fucks on top. The right idea is to let them burn. If Trump has any balls or any insight or any smarts, any psychic powers whatsoever, he'll let the fucker burn. So here's some predictions on Corona, right? Corona is a good sell because it makes it seem like, oh, that's the problem. And then you could take that problem and you can blame a foreign country. It came from China. China did it. Right? I've been saying it all along. China. All right, so here's the scare. Scare. Be afraid. Be afraid that you're going to get Corona. And I said yesterday, I've been saying it for 2 days, that the evidence is now pointing that coronavirus it's a pre-existing virus in between 7 and 15% of all flu. That seems to be the statistic, and there were never tests that specifically tested for that particular virus. Why? Because it doesn't really matter. They're all about the same in terms of, one may have a slightly higher fatality rate in old people that are vulnerable, that are in bad shape. But this corona flu, it has a 98% survival rate. That's not, and that 2% are people that are sick and elderly, or maybe something in, for example, in Italy. That doesn't really make sense. But again, I'm not there. I'm not seeing it with my own eyes. I'm not counting the heads. I'm doing it here in New York, and I don't see anybody who knows anybody who knows anybody who has coronavirus. So, that's the reality of it. So the reality is that it is likely, and I know it's an unpopular opinion. You can argue all you want about it, because certainly the New York Post wants you to believe that 750,000 people may be hospitalized for corona in New York City's studies say. What studies? What fucking studies? What are you talking about? Coronavirus could put more than 750,000 downstate New Yorkers into area hospitals, crushing the region's healthcare system. Frightening new projections from the Harvard School of Public Health and ProPublica show. It's doubling down. That's what this is. It's doubling down on the crisis. You got to blame something. There's a lot of money in researching corona right now. But the fact is, first of all, don't take any virus medications. Don't take any, if you should get sick and have the flu and walk into the hospital and they want to start probing you and trying on all these new medications, that's probably how you'll die. Because it's the same thing with AIDS. They didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know what they were looking at. Medical profession had no idea what they were looking at in the 80s. And they killed so many people with that AZD and all these other medications. Don't take any medications. Right? If you should get a flu right now, and it could be corona, big fucking deal. Stay in your house, steam, go in, take hot shower. Oh, breathe the steam in. You can't go to a steam room because they shut them all down. That's the best place to be. And take care of yourself. Drink a lot of fluids when you can. Exercise. I just had the flu a month and a half ago. I probably had the corona thing because it was very unique. It was very, it was rough. It was rough. The cough was very deep. And it had one other aspect of it. I wasn't hungry, too. For some reason, I wasn't nauseous or feeling like I couldn't eat anything. I just wasn't hungry. Like I would say, like, well, I had a little breakfast, and now it's 5 o'clock, and I still haven't eaten, and I'm not hungry, and I couldn't taste anything. That was one of the characteristic symptoms. The other thing was very bizarre dreams, very hallucinogenic kind of antagonizing dreams. I was dreaming about a problem that I couldn't solve, and then I couldn't remember what the problem is. So psychological torment was a characteristic of the flu that I had. And the point is, I'm fine now. I'm out running. I live on the 4th floor of a building. I run up the steps. I'm not out of breath. I have no lung damage or anything. Right? So again, the virus is likely. Look, the blaring fact is, did coronavirus fly over here on a plane and suddenly spread like wildfire? That's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that one person gave it to the other person, and it's spreading to thousands of people across the country like that. Ah, wow, it's just... But the fact is that these are people that already have the flu. And if you took a sample of 100% of the people that have the flu, you'd probably get a number about 7% is corona. And it's not any more deadly than the other flus. Right? That's the reality of it. Right? That's what we're dealing. That's what I think we're dealing with, and I think it snowballed out of control. It just snowballed the storyline. Got to get now. They're selling corona. Right? See, scare the shit out of people. The city's main hospital region. Why do it? Well, it's an economic reset. You need an excuse to cover for what? What are they covering? Covering this. They're covering the stock market crashing. You got to blame something. You can't say that it's a debt bubble. You can't say that we were wrong. That all of our thinking was wrong. That the debt choked us. That the banks made a mistake. Can't say that. Right? You have to say you got to find a victim. Right? So Corona works. Now the other thing is, there's 30% of this country that knows they just got fucked over in an election. Now, does that go away? Do those people? Did the Sanders movement have an effect on young people and the knowledge that he passed on of the real problem? He's no rocket science. He's certainly no psychic, and everything that Sanders is saying was publicly known during Occupy Wall Street. Right after Obama. The reason Obama was thrusted into the limelight by the progressive movement because Obama spoke about those things. Get money out of politics. Overturn Citizens United. Obama talked the talk, and then he turned out to be for sale. He did exactly what Trump did. Just turn to Goldman Sachs and say, okay, what do we have to do to keep the markets up? And he did exactly what they told him to do. But the point is that what Sanders knew and conveyed to most people was, common knowledge. It is now. But what happened is it spread to the 30% of the young people that now know it, that they are getting screwed, that the markets are rigged, that the economy is rigged for a ruling class, a ruling 1%. And that is also a reason where they're not participating. They're now balking, and so create havoc, create chaos, chaotic. Right? Also a practice in martial law. Can you get people to stay in their homes by force? I don't know. That hasn't been tried yet. But can you threaten them and create the illusion that if they step foot out their house, they're going to catch a deadly virus and die? That seems to work. It's working like a charm, right? So economic reset. Now, here's the other thing. Someone said to me, he said, I think the lady on the street yesterday, the Aussie lady said, what is the motivation for the banks to crash the markets? And here's the thing, right? Here, I'm going to tell you the thing from knowing Wall Street, the way it works, is this. Nobody knows for sure why they're doing what they're doing. Right? And that's not a naive thing to say. The other thing to know about Wall Street is this, that all the banks, everybody thinks, oh, Wall Street, it's them versus us. That's true. But on Wall Street, it's them versus each other. Banks are not friendly with other banks. Corporations are not friendly with other corporations. They're all in a shitstorm of competition. They're all chopping each other up, cutting each other out, fighting for profit share, profit margin. They're killing each other. They're constant. Nobody trusts anybody on Wall Street. Goldman Sachs doesn't trust J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan doesn't trust HSBC. Goldman, they don't trust each other, right? And they'll drive each other out of business. You saw it in 2008 where Goldman Sachs literally drove Lehman Brothers out of business. So that's one point. That they're not friendly. They're not your friends. They're not friends with each other. It's all about profit. Right? That's one of the factors. Right? The other thing is that they engage in markets like the credit default swap market that nobody even knew what it was. Lay people, even people trading, didn't know what the hell it was because it was very small. It was a very select crew of people that were trading these derivatives that ultimately crashed the market. AIG, for example, Lehman Brothers, for example. The crash was a result of some kind of shenanigan play that Goldman Sachs had. And in the final analysis, they told Henry Paulson, the Treasury Secretary at the time, we have a big problem. AIG owes us $50 billion, and we want our fucking money now. And Goldman Sachs got their money. Right? Instead of letting them fall, which they should have been allowed to do, let them fall. Are we any worse off that Lehman Brothers crashed and fell and is no more? No. We would have been better off without Goldman Sachs and the like. So when they turn around and say, oh, you have to save the market, you have to save the economy. If we don't save the economy, if we don't bail them out, we have a big problem. That's what they're going to tell you again. They're going to do that again. I said again. And who are they going to bail out? They're going to bail out the insurance companies. They're going to bail out the big oil. They're going to bail out everybody. Everybody's going to get a handout. And then, but the root of the problem doesn't change. So that's my rant. President Trump signs coronavirus relief package passed by Congress. President Donald Trump on Wednesday night signed a coronavirus aid package passed by Congress, providing free testing, whoop-de-doo, and 2-week paid sick leave for full-time employees who fall ill. The buy part, only 2 weeks? Why 2 weeks? What happens if you're out? What happens if you're out for a month? What about if you die? What about your family? It's such a crisis. What about death benefit? The bipartisan multi-billion-dollar relief bill was approved by the House. How much? How much? The bill provides $1 billion in food and aid. Also, it doesn't even give a number. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin brokered the deal. Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs in the White House. The bill also provides $1 billion in food aid to needy and $1 billion in unemployment funds to states as the number of coronavirus cases soared to 7,000. Ooh. Is it spreading or was it always there? And the more you test people with the flu, the more you're going to find it. Again, 7 to 15% of all flu is likely to be corona. Already, it has always been that way. Historically, that's what it is. It's detected. I watched the video yesterday. I'm not going to play it again. Where it's already there. So, is it spreading? No, it doesn't look like it's spreading. It looks like it's being revealed that it's there. Is it as deadly as they say? Statistically, it doesn't seem to be any more deadly than any other virus or flu. It seems to attack elderlies and sicklies and such. So, okay, so there's a big push. A big opening up the financial pocket for those in need. Coronavirus in New York. Restaurants announce mass layoffs as pandemic puts city in chokehold. Why are they doing it? That's what I wanted. That's the fundamental problem. Why, you say to yourself, why would the banks, why would Wall Street choke each other out? Because they're going to take a loss too. But unlike you and I, they know their bailout is guaranteed on Wall Street. So if they lose $1 trillion in stock equity, they're going to get it back in free loans. You're not going to get it back. You're going to get screwed. You still can't go bankrupt on your student loan, or right? You're not going to get anything out of it, right? The banks always win. So the point is, do we know exactly why? Who is orchestrating the crash per se? The exact people? No, we don't know, and we don't know the exact motive. Why? Because it's the thing that I told you before, that they're all competing against each other. They're all chopping each other up. They're all cutting each other up. They're paying off politicians. It's chaos. It's chaos. And when the thing finally breaks, when the bottom falls out, they all start pointing their fingers. Look for a scapegoat, right? Look for a scapegoat, right? As I said, Sanders had the idea. Bernie Sanders had the idea. He was pointing to all this, and he got thrown out. So the nice is off the table. Right? They're not gonna play nice. Now we're going for scorched earth, where the markets crash. We go right back to 2008. Everybody points the finger at each other. Oh, the poor banks, we have to bail them out, or they're going to freeze out your accounts. All cash is going to be obsolete. You're going to be eating dog food. You're going to catch corona. But here's the reality. New York restaurant workers, you want to shut down all the businesses? Great. Look. All these workers now are laid off. If you worked in a restaurant, good luck. You're out. Right? Now, how are you going to carry that? Right? So if you had like a universal basic income, if we had, universal health care for all, if we did something, if we addressed the grotesque income and wealth inequality in this country, maybe we wouldn't have this situation. Maybe people would have 6 months or a year economic reserve. Rather than 2 weeks. If they can't pay their rent, they got their landlord knocking on the door, putting a piece of paper on the door. And what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to keep the system the same and bail out all the people that are victimized by this grotesque level of income and wealth inequality. And the billionaires, they're going to lose a little bit, but not a lot. Their lives are not going to change. Jeff Bezos' life is not going to change one iota to this. People say, Jeff Bezos lost $30 billion in stock equity. So it's money he doesn't spend anyway. So instead of being worth $110 billion, he's worth $75 billion. or 20 billion or 80 billion. It's all the same. You know what $1 billion is? That's 1,000 million. People could live their whole life on $1 million. This guy's got thousands and piles and houses full of billions. It's just so much money. What's going on in the chat, man? Sorry for ignoring you. I was on a tear there. I was on a psychic mission there to tell you what's going on, man. He always is. So what's going on, man? So Steve Z, are you mad at Trump no matter what he does? Trump. Steve is pissed off. His Trump didn't work out for him. That's okay. Speak your piece, mate. It's okay. Like I said, Conte is always here for you. Come rest your head on my bosom, and I will lean your head on my shoulder when you're not strong. See, crybabies. Dog food. Landlords cannot evict right now. I know they can't. They're not gonna. There's not gonna be any evictions. It would take you 2 or 3 years of not paying rent to get kicked out in New York City right now. So anyway, man. So thank you guys for sharing. We got a little more. Let's keep going. So what else is going on? So look at all the I don't know what that is. These are market crashes. How things are interpreted, and it seems that if you look at Forbes, very intellectual, very U.S. friendly. U.S. government is taking strong action along with the Fed in Trump time. The administration means business. Of course, it can't do miracles. That means that the market will now start sorting out sectors that will respond to the bailouts and those that won't. Then when we have to reassess the government efforts. See, it's just socialism for the wealthy. The businesses are anemic. The corporations in this country are on life support, and they have been for quite a long time. They're not actually making money because they don't make any new things. What they do is they make money on debt. They make money on, it's bubble money. It's inflated money. They make money on stock buyback, on, it's bullshit. It's all crap, right? And so they need the bailout. Just like people need a bailout, but people are not. The people are saying that we need to change the system. If we don't change the system, the 99% of the people will continue to starve. They're going to get their bailout first. All right, the billionaire class is going to get their bailout first. What happens if we would let them fall this time? What would happen if we let the corporations fail? If the banks would go under? Well, then what we would have is a renaissance. We'd have a renaissance of small businesses flourishing again. Corporations would, by force, have to stop manufacturing in China and start making things here again. You would have kind of Indian trading beginning again, where family businesses would open up and they would start, working with each other in a community rather than being slave to Walmart and having all of their monies siphoned out of the community. The money would stay within the community. Velocity of money would stay within the community. That would be the tragedy of not bailing out the corporations this time around. That you'd actually have a renaissance in the United States. You would certainly have a press, a mainstream media press that would fail, that would flop. They can't pay people $6 million, $10 million anymore. Why do we need to pay them when someone like me can report on the coronavirus, the emptiness of the city, and the fact that it's most likely fictitious, that we can't find a single person that's suffering from this grave illness that has shut down the whole country? Why isn't CNN reporting that? Why aren't they reporting what's right in front of your face? And why would you fear that they would go under and go out of business, and suddenly the system would that we'd be in a worse position and not a better position? Is what I'm saying. So look, here's the only article that I could find that was slightly honest. This is by Al Jazeera. Always the foreign publications that look in and see it. The market crash. Is the virus to blame or delusional economics? I think it's obvious. Delusional economics. So, still, it would be more accurate and therefore more useful to say that the market crash followed by a recession was the inescapable result of economic policies. If COVID-19, then something else would have cued it. Maybe less dramatic, maybe less severe, but still inevitable. The inevitability. We have a whole set of bubbles. Stock market, corporate borrowing, real estate, student debt, government debt. Combined, they are bubbles so big they had to pop. Now, why is that? That was not a hard prediction to see. You don't have to be the psychic investor to know that. Oh, look, the market bounced back. Now they'll say, oh, look, it's rebounding. And what do they get? They got a whole 0.4% back. Still market closing under. Let me see the 5-day. This is important, man. All of the answers lie in the stock market. But you can see day after day. Nothing goes straight down. It goes down and it comes up. It goes down, get a little spike up, massive drop. It's like a staircase. Nothing falls straight down except when you retract this and you look at the weekly. This is a staggering fall from grace. That's what I'm saying. Man. So the intercept: can the coronavirus and the stock market melt down, break America's addiction to fantasy? It depends on how much the pain is, And what is that fantasy? What is the fantasy what fantasy are we talking about? We're talking about this fantasy right here. This is the fantasy right here.
We begin the new year, our economy is booming, wages are soaring, workers are thriving, and America's future has never, ever looked brighter. Never.
Ever. You said ever.
We're the envy of every country.
We're the envy.
We've created 7 million.
We're the envy of every country in the world. So, anyway, not a lot of people here watching, man. People are not interested in the reality, because this is reality. So, that's the Intercept reporting, and Bernie Sanders said, "We are likely already in a recession. Workers are losing income while their bills pile up. We need to provide direct emergency, $2,000 for everyone in America on a monthly basis." So they're talking about basic universal basic income. That's what Andrew Yang was talking about. That's what FDR talked about. Give everybody a monthly stipend. So in the case of an emergency, but now we have to deal with the emergency. We have to deal with a broken system where they're not covered and such, and they don't have $400 to their name. Here's the proof. The proof is now in the pudding. Go ahead, blame it. Blame Corona. Why don't you blame the corruption in the elections? Why don't you blame the fact that the people can't get what they ask for, that they get cock-blocked by the major media, and they get robbed in the course of elections, where their votes are not counting. They're voting for one person, and the numbers are saying something else. Look at all this discrepancies. It's discrepancies in every one of these places that the Democrats held primaries: Michigan, California, Vermont, Texas, Massachusetts, South Carolina, New Hampshire. Every election that the exit polls were compared to the actual vote were all off in favor of the establishment. Why is that? Is that part of the problem? Yeah, it is part of the problem. It tells you that the people can't get that the oligarchs, the establishment, is working against the people. Why is all the mainstream media plugging Joe Biden a shit sandwich, someone that is not going to win to Trump, who is just like a walking corpse, can't inspire anyone for change or to address the actual problems? Why are they doing it? Because it's protection. It's conservatism to protect the way the thing is now. So So is the election officially over? Well, in my view, it is. Joe Biden has an insurmountable lead at this point. 1,180 regular delegates to Bernie Sanders is 885. It's about a 300-point rip. And how could Bernie Sanders possibly pass him now with all that's left is Connecticut. These are big states. New York. This is all April 28. Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. How can Bernie Sanders possibly amount 300 points in a system that's clearly rigged against him? Right? They're going to continue to cheat him out. And then how's he going to get New Jersey? How's he going to get Maryland? How's he going to get Virginia, West Virginia, or Georgia, or Oregon? No, it's not going to happen. They're going to if they're cheating him in Washington State, they're certainly going to cheat him in Oregon. And quite frankly, cheating aside, Bernie Sanders didn't do his job at slaughtering Joe Biden. He said instead, he's my friend. So that was the friendly approach. The friendly approach is now off the table. Am I heartbroken? Well, it was a little heartbreaking that the American people never came around to seeing it. And now we have this. Now we have this atrocious, disgusting mess on our hands. Now we have the threat, the false belief that somehow coronavirus is going to kill us all. We still have a bubble economy that's now, breaking down right in front of us. What are we going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? I don't know. I know what I'm going to do about it. I'm certainly not going to sit in my house and hide my head. I'm going to get out there and live my life, man. I'm going to get out there and do my thing. If I need to wear a mask to prevent myself from getting the flu, if everybody suddenly breaks out with the flu, that's not going to stop me from living, I'm not scared easily, right? Fuck that shit, right? Just live your life, right? I'm not crying about the stock market because I don't have any investments in it. All I care is that I have money and that the supermarket is open and there's food on the shelves, because that's really all that matters. The ability to exercise, the ability to eat right and take care of yourself, the ability to not end up a slave in someone else's engine, a clog in an engine, to voice yourself, to help people. Wow. To mention that, to actually broadcast the truth so that some people may wake up by hearing it. What a privilege, right? I don't discount, the fact that I struggle to do this, but I have hope that people will see. I use the H word. I have hope that people will see that what I'm doing here, is really not about me. It's more about an insatiable appetite to help people out and see the truth, right? I know that's hard to believe, but there are some people that really believe that and really, really strive for it. So, oh yeah. So, yeah. I like it with Trump.
Brand new jobs.
Listen.
As we begin the new year, our economy is booming, wages are soaring, workers are thriving, and America's future has never, ever looked brighter. Never. For the envy of every country in the world, we've created
So a wrap.
7 million brand new jobs since our election. And we will soon be replacing the disaster known as NAFTA.
So everybody thank Vinny DiMartini in the chat for
The historic victory for Ohio farmers.
Vinny DiMartini in the chat for moderation today. Thank you very much. Blind Seer, thank you for stopping by. Thank you, Pat Hacker, for stopping by. Steve Z, thank you for being Steve Z. Mr. Nobody, thank you, Mr. Nobody. You got a small crowd today because people don't want to hear this truth. Karen R., thank you for stopping by. To be Savreen. Like Bernie, Marcus never talks about the people who privately own. Oh, I talk about it all the time, my friend. Stick around. MB Boyak. MB Boyak, welcome. Joe, hello, Joe. Mr. Nobody. Mr. Nobody. All right. Peace, everybody. Have a good day.
A lot of them coming in. Begin the new year. Our economy is booming. Wages are soaring. Workers are thriving. And America's future has never, ever looked brighter. Ever. We're the envy of every country in the world. We've created 7 million brand new jobs since our election. And we will soon be replacing the disaster known as NAFTA with the incredible brand new USMCA, the historic victory for Ohio farmers, workers, and manufacturers, but really a great victory for the United States. It's an incredible agreement. You remember I came and I talked about, I always talk about how bad our trade deals are. We did a brand new one with Korea. So now we have South Korea. We just finished a big one, $40 billion with Japan. On January 15th, we're signing Monster, a big, beautiful monster, $40 to $50 billion to our farmer. That's our farmers will be taken in. I keep saying go buy larger